excited to be here in Pennsylvania. I actually have a bit of ancestry from this state. The thing that I find most comforting about being here in Pennsylvania, the Keystone State is where it all began. And not just, of course, at the beginning of our country, but also in the 2010 election last year. We picked up another 5 congressional seats for the Republican caucus. In addition to that, Senator Toomey was elected a solid conservative, something that Alaska is actually jealous of. You guys have a solid conservative senator. We know that Pennsylvania needs it. And why does Pennsylvania need it? Because Pennsylvania recognizes that the Obama-Casey agenda is the problem. I'm proud to stand behind Mark in his race, primarily because he gets it. He understands what Reagan did, that government is not the solution, it is the problem. It's what's brought us to the point we're at as a nation. Casey takes the opposite view. He supported the Obama agenda through and through. In fact, he voted 97% of the time along with Obama's agenda. And that, of course, includes the stimulus plan. It includes bailing out inefficient businesses. It includes Obamacare. We know that this state is not going to stand behind that in 2012. In fact, the current polling reflects that well over half of Pennsylvanians don't stand behind the Obama agenda. In fact, disapprove of his job performance. And a similar number, over half, do not approve of Casey. Now, one of the things that drove me into politics was this opposition to political dynasties. And in my view, the Murkowski dynasty in Alaska, founded upon prestige and influence, the inefficiencies of the government, the political chaos, it was something that was bad for Alaska, it was bad for America. This state here faces similar challenges, the Casey dynasty. Now, our country, of course, fought against that type of approach. In fact, it was founded on the idea that the king and parliament did not properly represent us. It was founded against that oligarchical type system, where you had people who felt that they were vested in a position that they were entitled. It leads to the same sort of thing that we're faced with today. A government that does not properly represent its people. A government that's more about corruption and chaos and paying off those that are in support than it is about putting our rights first. We need to get back to limited government, and part of the way that we do this is to turn those dynasties upside down. A family name does not entitle you to office, rather meritocracy. What are you doing for the people? What are you doing to get back the country to limited government, moving forward the plank of individual rights? I'm proud to stand behind Mark because he gets it. He's a solid constitutional conservative. He believes in limited government. He believes in getting back to the Constitution and reining back in the federal government based upon the Constitution, the enumerated rights that are there. He understands that personal freedoms are at the base of it. He understands in order to advance that, you got to get the federal government out of the way. It's time to use his Free America agenda to do that. Part of the way that we do that is to get back to the balanced budget amendment. That's key to getting our country back on track. Term limits, another solid approach to help remove this family dynastic approach that we've taken in American politics that's been so destructive to the American system of governance. Regulatory reform, that's key. I stand proud behind Mark on the issue of getting regulations out of the way so we can move forward American business, so that we can be competitive again on the international scene, so we can put people back to work. That is foundational and key to moving America forward. And I agree with Mark as well on the notion that we no longer are to be the world's policemen, setting up administrations in other countries, bankrupting our government in such a way, instead of being laser focused on those threats that face us. And then finally, his pro-life stand is second to none. And Casey may go out there masquerading as pro-life, but he's not. I mean, if you look at his votes on Planned Parenthood, continued federal funding there, if you look at his vote for Obamacare, and that support of taxpayer-funded abortions, if you look at his vote on rescinding the Mexico City policy, you can be firm in the view that he does not take a firm pro-life stance that Mark does. In short, Mark stands behind the time-tested ideals that have made this country great. He's a constitutional conservative. He believes in reining in the federal government. And for that reason, I'm here in Pennsylvania supporting his candidacy. He's going to be a solid Tea Party candidate. His experience, his background are going to move this state forward. I'm going to be proud to stand before him and support his Senate representation of Pennsylvania in 2012. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, so much for your endorsement of my candidacy. Joe Miller is a true American patriot. Joe Miller fought for our freedoms in the Persian Gulf War and was awarded the Bronze Star for his leadership in combat. He has a master's degree in economics and a Juris Doctorate from the Yale Law School. He is a family man. He's here today with his wife, Kathleen, and they have 8 beautiful children. Joe Miller is a citizen, a soldier, and a lawyer. His resume sounds like many of the resumes of our founding fathers. I am so proud to have received Joe's endorsement here today. This is why I am running for the United States Senate, to restore freedom and prosperity to America. And I encourage all of you here today to go to my website, ScaringiForSenate2012.com, to learn more. You can also find our campaign on Facebook at Scaringi for Senate 2012, and on Twitter at Scaringi, the number 4, and then the word Senate. Thank you again. Thank you again, Joe Miller, for your endorsement today. We're looking to capture here in Pennsylvania some of that Miller magic that works so well in Alaska. And I want Pennsylvania to be a leading force in saying no to the status quo and getting our nation back on track, grounded in the ideals upon which this country became great. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.